Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. This is a fun little place that you can come on in and get caught up on some of the latest news that involves our Cleveland Browns, the best team in the NFL. And then you'll also get a take attached to each of those news items as the show progresses. Thank you to everyone who has jumped in and liked our previous episodes, and also to all of you who have subscribed to the channel, and then also those of you who jump into the viewer comments and make your voices be heard down there in the viewer comment section. Now, coming up on today's show, there's one off-season move that the Browns made that no one really seems to be talking about right now, but I think they should be. Also, Denzel Ward is using 3 letters as motivation for what he is saying will propel him to a Pro Bowl season this year. NFL expert who's pretty dialed in says it's actually the Browns' veteran quarterbacks who are the long shots to start week 1. And down in the viewer comments, somebody thinks I'm right about something? All right, well, we'll find out, and we'll see if you guys agree. But the one off-season move that I think that hasn't really been talked about much is the signing of Malik Collins to the defensive line. I mean, this is a guy who's expected to be a big contributor this year. He's 30 years old, and he's at his best when he's rushing the passer, and that is exactly how Jim Schwartz plans to use him this year. Let's get a look at his career stats. You can see how he's piled them up, and he had a career high with 5 sacks last year and 12 quarterback hits. But Pro Football Focus gave him a 70 grade as a pass rusher, ranking him 33rd among interior linemen. His 9-year career, he has 30.5 sacks and 88 quarterback hits. The 49ers cut Collins last year to save cap space, and the Browns did the same thing with Delvin Tomlinson. They were just trying to make some cap room, and Tomlinson ended up signing with the Cardinals. And, we got Collins in here on a 2-year deal. And so he's 6'2", 310, and he joins, we go over this list like every other day, but, with Myles Garrett and Mason Graham and Alex Wright, Isaiah McGuire, all those guys, mixed in there. Mike Hall. He's a guy that I just don't hear much about. But man, oh man, he could be a huge factor for us on that defensive front. And remember, he was a 3rd-round pick for the Cowboys out of Nebraska back in 2016. So Malik Collins, man, along with this defense, folks, it is shaping up. It is really, really looking very promising what we have on defense. And now another reason the defense looks so promising, Denzel Ward. He's healthy, he's ready to go, and he's using 3 letters this year to as motivation. And this came out of an interview with Cameron Justice, a sports reporter for the ABC affiliate here in Cleveland. Cameron is a great reporter and just won her first Emmy, so congratulations to Cameron on that. But he told her that he said he's got to have his best year. And now let's take a look at his stats here. He led the league in passes defended last year. Or you could call them either PDFs, but most people like to call them PBUs, pass breakups. But the 3 letters that are going to inspire him this year are he wants to change those PBUs to INTs. And you see, he only had 2 last year, and we've talked about this. The Browns defense is working very hard on catching the ball, honestly. And especially the cornerbacks, the safeties, because, Jim Schwartz and a lot of the guys on defense felt like they missed a lot of opportunities last year. They had balls hit their hands or, go in and out of their hands that if, you turn those pass breakups into interceptions and you're giving your offense some extra chances, you're only going to do good things. And so turning defense into offense is what Denzel Ward is focused on, and it starts with those 3 letters, right? It starts with the changing those PBUs to INTs, and so Denzel Ward, man, he could be huge this year. As long his biggest thing is staying on the field. So if we could keep him on the field, and he could turn those PBUs into INTs, it's going to be a big boost for not only the defense but get the offense some extra chances to score. Now, speaking of scoring, you need a quarterback and wide receivers and a running back. You need all that to score, right? But we have an NFL insider who says when they line up week one, it's going to be one of the rookie quarterbacks who will be under center. We're talking about Daniel Jeremiah. He is an expert with the NFL Network, and he was on the Rich Eisen show over the weekend. And, he said that either Sanders or Gabriel will ultimately start. And here is why. He says, talent-wise, I think both those guys have an advantage over Kenny Pickett. Pickett has to be light years better than each of them to make the team. To me, I think Joe Flacco is just in case they don't feel like they can be competent at the position, then you insert Joe. I think their week one starter is going to be one of the rookies. And so, he thinks that Pickett will either be released or traded come late August. And so Daniel Jeremiah with the bold prediction. I don't know. Released, but I still think it's going to be Pickett or Flacco to start week one. I just don't know if the Browns are ready to throw one of the rookies into the fire, but we got a long way to go. We got to get all the way through training camp, these combined practices and everything. And, if one of them rises to the occasion, then yeah, absolutely. I said it all along. We heard Andrew Berry say it. Best man win, right? He basically said, if you're in the room and, you're fazed by someone we signed or drafted, then you don't have the competitive spirit that we're looking for. So this is going to be one of the best quarterback battles we have ever. Well, AI already told us it is the best quarterback battle we're going to witness in the history of the team. But Daniel Jeremiah, I don't know. It's going to be it'll be a monumental effort for one of the rookies to get there. But anything is possible at this point, folks. That's the beauty of this. That it is just anything is possible. What else is possible is the viewer comments being good. That is always possible. And, we don't know who's going to be in the starting lineup week one, but we always know the viewer comments are in the starting lineup. So today we are going to start with Mill 6594. And apparently ESPN disagrees with Daniel Jeremiah because Mill 6594 says he's joining fantasy football, and they had a draft for the early teams already, and ESPN has Pickett as the starter for the Browns week one, giving him 15 points. I'm guessing that's his projected for week one, which is not that great for a quarterback. You know why? Because the Browns are going to run the ball so much. The Browns quarterback situation, I don't think you're going to get a ton of stats out of the quarterbacks, especially early on. But ESPN disagrees. They already have Pickett. They put him in the starting lineup already. And thank you, Mill 6594, for alerting us to that. Dr. Amy Rucker. She says, I agree about the ticket situation. Get out in front of the issue. Remember I said I thought the Browns missed an opportunity? If I was them, I would have had Shador. I would have set up a podium and even just have him read a statement, do something formal to address the whole ticket thing and just make it go away. Because in my opinion, the faster you talk about it, the faster it goes away, and then you don't give anybody anything to talk about. It's done. It's over. And I know the tickets have been paid. Thank goodness. That came out over the weekend as well. But the tickets are paid, and everything is right in the world again. Boy, oh boy, this is the speeding ticket that rocked the world. Well, speeding tickets that rocked the world. So, okay, moving on. Noel Bennett, KW5DE. That's one of those YouTube/password type handles. He says, I think the Browns are rebuilding the defense for Shador and not Flacco and Kenny. He says, I think that they saw what Shador did in college without a good defense. Can you imagine what he can do when you surround him with a great defense? He says that's their thinking. And I think the defense, I think they're really building the defense for whoever's, not just quarterback, the whole offense. Because, The defense struggled last year, and if you can take that and you create short fields for your offense, just make things easier on your offense. Again, like what we talked about with Denzel Ward, get those picks, get those turnovers, right? You know, and defense can create offense, and defense is what wins championships. So I think whoever is under center will benefit. The entire offense is going to benefit from better play out of the defense. And then we'll end on Haywood Armstrong Jr., 898. Now, Haywood agrees with me, which doesn't happen very often. But Haywood says, you're right. The linebacker room is thick. I really like the rookie. I'm not even going to try and spell out his name. Go Browns. And he's talking about Carson Schwarzenegger, which I cannot, it's hard enough to say. It's hard enough to say my last name. I mean that's why everybody called me Grizzer, right? I mean, because no one can pronounce Grendzynski. But, when you look up and down this defense, I feel like we're deeper on the front line. We're deeper at linebacker. If everybody stays healthy, our corners, we could go as many as 6 deep at corner. We signed KZ away from Pittsburgh. I think our safety situation's a little more stable. So, everywhere you look up and down this defense, I like what I see. Okay, that's going to do it for us today. All right, go Browns. We'll see you next time.